Just kidding.
Hi, chat.
Hi. Just
we're not
kidding.
Live on YouTube yet. Sorry, that was my fault. I pushed the button and forgot to push the other buttons. So I missed 2 buttons.
Wait, something's wrong.
But we're here.
Nobody
I know.
here
I was
making
like, what
fun
did
of
I
me.
do wrong?
There's nobody here making fun of me.
Also,
You guys all missed. Oh,
YouTube
you
is being a
missed
little
them.
bit wonky.
It's my fault.
hello everyone,
You guys
welcome.
missed it because I failed, and you guys missed Jason's new monocle.
I think we've got to have him put the monocle back in.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Play it again. Play it again. Jabe. Chuck, hello. Source, hello. Paint Liquor, T. Schmidt, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday's live stream.
He arrives tonight on the airplane,
The Aeroplane.
but he'll be in the office
The
tomorrow.
Flugzeug.
The Foopsoik.
Flugzeug.
Ryan Wallace, hello. Everyone, we are 1 T-minus less than 24 hours until New Paint Thursday.
You can't see us.
Row.
Source, that's your
Everybody
fault.
else see us? Did I really mess this up somehow?
I feel like we
I feel like
Be having more people.
would say they can't. Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Fluff.
Yes, it's Source. Source has
Source,
problems.
you're making me lose my mind.
Source got's the problem.
reopen
You
your
have to
tab,
turn
Source.
your monitor on, Source.
Oh man, water is so delightfully
Refreshing.
Oh my god, delightfully refreshing
It's
today.
refreshing.
It's so nice. I think it's just because it's been so warm lately.
Oh, Source, that was
I've
my
been
fault. I
drinking enough
forgot to
water.
push buttons.
Yes,
I pushed the button and forgot to push the other buttons. Actually, turn it on.
Mr. Guy, water is in fact wet.
Mr. Guy.
Mr.
It's
Guy.
almost like we were made to drink water. You know what? I don't recall drinking water much at all as a kid. I don't think water drinking became the thing it is now until like the 90s.
Until the 90s.
Until the 90s.
Joe Hudson, hello. We see your name is the Highlander.
Hello, everyone. Oh, hi, Joe.
Ryan Wallace, it's not midnight. No, it's like 9 a.m. Arizona time tomorrow.
Good to see you, Joe.
On the morrow. May there be many morrows.
Weirdos to say they don't like the taste of water. What taste? What taste would that be? Although there is some water that has a taste, and that's the water to avoid.
That's very unfortunate. Yeah, that's the unfortunate water. We try to stay away from that water.
Yep. Yeah, that's our water here every day
What are you talking about?
from the tap.
Arizona water tastes so great.
No, it does not.
What the hell are you talking?
What happened to your taste buds?
Ask Jason what he's.
Did you eat too much
what
toxic
kind of water
sludge as a
he's
kid?
drinking right now,
I mean, I've been here for a while.
because
So.
he drinks bottled water only.
No, I drink more water straight from our refrigerator.
That still tastes funny to
It's
me.
filtered. Ryan Wallace, 7 a.m. is too early. Where do you live? We're the same as Pacific time right now.
Yeah, 9 a.m. Pacific is not too early for anybody unless you live
Yeah,
in
you have
Hawaii.
to say you're gonna go the other way, unless you're in Hawaii.
Alright. I'll finish this guy up today. And then we have a new project on the horizons. This is a special project for Mr. Birthday Boy.
Mr. Birthday Boy.
Well, from last week, but yes.
Oh.
I got Gabe's gift. Which
That?
I need to paint. Well, it's this plus 2 other models, but yeah.
That's not how we do things.
How we do
Gabe
things?
just doesn't Gabe just doesn't get his models painted for free because he got older. He has to pay.
Is it supposed to just be all silver? If so, great job.
Yeah. All right, Gabe. Your gift has been ungiven by Jason. Sorry.
I didn't say he had to ungive it.
You had a teacher that said Pacific.
Did he steal
when
that
meant
from me?
Pacific?
No, I literally went
And
out
that
and
was
bought
a teacher?
Oh. Because he was saying he wanted mine.
Why is Jordan holding aluminum?
I think he wanted yours to avoid having me buy one. Which I did. So I went and bought one.
See what I have to put up with, chat?
Gabe said he would take the Usheron then.
This is Phil's. Phil didn't get older
Phil
to
said,
get his
"I will
painted.
fight you IRL" to Jabe.
I would love to see that fight.
Out back by the dumpster.
Who said that?
Philip
Yeah, they're gonna fight.
said at Monument Jabe, "I will fight you IRL." Because he was trying to steal your...
Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, I think that might be a bad gig, Gabe. Phil's a Marine.
According to Jason logic, you haven't paid, so I will pay instead.
So I will pay instead. What are you paying with?
Loons. Canadian funny money.
Well,
Friendship.
they do have funny money.
Friendship.
Friendship.
Whoa. Them's be fighting words.
You don't want friends?
Potato, potato.
Potato, potato.
Potato, potato.
We only have potatoes here, please.
That's always a hard one to write.
Potato, potato?
Tomato, tomato. Potato, potato.
Well,
Doesn't
all
ever
right's the
work
same.
right when you write it out.
I like the one that, it'll be like data or data, and it's written out. Do you pronounce it? And then obviously they're both spelled the same way.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
I love those. That's why I say potato, tomato.
Potato,
Or is
tomato.
is that potato, tomato?
Potato,
Or
tomato.
potato, tomato. Oh, there's so many variances on that one, Philip. I don't know what to do.
She's having a
Equal
good time
parts
with it.
tomato and potato. You were more
Potato
tomato for sure
schmamato.
because it's in your name, Watt. I don't see your name being Wad Potato Ton.
Whoa.
Or Wad
It's
Potato N, sorry.
his new name is now Wad Potato N. Welcome to the new world, Wad Potato N.
You say you're equal
Thus
parts.
has he been dubbed.
If you say you're equal parts, they should be interchangeable.
Wow, that's
Ate at
amazing.
Five Guys at Adepticon, you felt like you were 100% potato for 4 days, Chuck.
Wad
Their
Potato
fries
N.
do have some heft.
That's all that. Potato.
Wad potato. Wad
Potato farts.
Wad Potato N.
So how are you doing today, Jason?
I don't know. Yes.
Yes,
He's alive.
he's doing. That's the first step.
Yes.
He's doing at
I'm
least.
still waiting for someone to excitedly come through here and tell me that the machine is running.
Oh,
Row.
that hasn't happened. I haven't been back.
That hasn't
I'm
happened
afraid
yet.
to go out there.
That hasn't happened yet.
Notice Jordan isn't interested in how chat is doing.
No, I really don't care. I'm just kidding. How are y'all doing today?
Of course he cares. He's Jordan. Does it need to be true? I can just come in and say it if it will cheer you up.
Yes.
See what I have to
Baby
put up
jerk.
with chat?
Game Delay said I was about to excitedly say whatever Jason wanted said, but then he explained more. OMG Mike, Paints will go live at goal time is 9 a.m. Arizona time, which is the same as Pacific right now.
Said 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
That gives me an hour and a half, basically, tomorrow morning to...
Drink your coffee. Get all snuggled up in your chair.
Well, I mean, I got to bring Miniac in. So we got a lot going on. We got a VIP. Got all sorts of stuff happening.
Are you gonna have him press the button?
We got to launch some products. He probably wouldn't want that stress.
Yeah, he's like, I did something wrong. Oh no.
I mean, I have to go through and make 21 different products live. So.
Yeah, there are certain things that it gets a little scary to click.
I guess it's not just one big red button that says
It's
go
not one big
live.
red
No.
button.
Yeah.
Not at all.
18,
Yeah.
19, 21 red
21 buttons.
21 buttons.
Well,
it's-
each 21 tasks. And each
Yeah, I was
one
about
of
to
those
say,
is a bunch of buttons.
there are a numerous amount of clicks that are required to have those buttons be available to you.
But we are excited for the paint release tomorrow. That's gonna be fun.
It will be fun.
I don't guarantee that we have paint to last through the day tomorrow, folks. So
I would recommend
if you're looking for the 3 new sets, chat, I would be looking earlier than 9 a.m. We've told the world 9 a.m. You guys know how it goes. For our Discord, Twitch, YouTube fans,
a little bit of super secret love for you guys.
I will announce in Discord when I'm about to press the button to go make it all happen so you guys can get the first jump on. Because they are not going to last. This is by far, I think, the most demanded release we've had ever.
Which is crazy because I feel like we keep on saying that every time we release stuff.
Yeah, we do.
Punisher really said this sounds like a really inefficient system. You should probably just put them all in one button.
So that's not how it works.
Paintlicker said I always imagined it like nuke launches with joint key turning to launch the products.
Also, probably a lot more buttons involved with that too. To be
Ryan Wallace
honest.
is going to stay up all night hitting refresh.
Don't do that.
I mean, you don't need to do that. Get some sleep.
Yeah, because I'm going to sleep. So you guys need to sleep. We're going to take Miniac and his wife out.
Ghost Hunter will be getting the paints from FLGS. That is awesome.
Yeah, a bunch of the stores already have
some
them.
of the stores already have them. Some of the stores I heard already sold out.
Yep.
Put them on the shelves. Got them snatched up right away.
Old World Games here in town already advertising theirs right before I came into stream.
Oh, did they?
They've got theirs all laid out on the desk. They've already sold a bunch.
Division Ring said you could probably save a lot of the demand tomorrow morning by just releasing them now.
That's also...
While you're not technically wrong,
You'd have a lot more customer service emails, I think.
Yeah.
you're also
Why
not technically
you logged
wrong.
in at 9 a.m. and they were sold out? Could you please explain?
OSOB Paint said, when I inevitably miss it, any guesses on a timeline for restocking?
For what?
Restocking.
Couple weeks.
Zazin said, I thought Miniac was Ninjon's wife.
No.
In some ways,
No.
maybe. But
There was
definitely.
Miniac before there was Ninjon.
Yeah.
Oh. Then would it be accurate to say that Ninjon is Miniac's wife?
Much more appropriate.
There we go. I guess I never
It's
thought.
more that Ninjon is Miniac's adopted, like, foster creator, foster streamer. Foster, they don't really stream. Foster child.
Foster brother?
Foster something.
Got it. I think.
Yeah, Miniac, John was actually a viewer of Miniac's.
Was he really?
Yeah, who just contacted Miniac and they became fast friends
That's crazy.
and started shooting some videos. John actually was, I think, shot a couple of videos on the Miniac channel before he did his own.
Wow.
Ninja on YouTube because Miniac told him to. Spatsnut said, I'm going to spend the next few months going into my FLGS every Friday, asking them if their distributor has the new paints yet.
Where's your FLGS?
I mean, maybe don't do that.
Maybe don't do that.
I don't know that that's gonna
There's
do
persistence
anything
and
except getting you
annoyance.
banned from the store.
Yeah, there's persistence and annoyance, and they very fairly close.
Division rating, it's still April, so Slowfuse still has the opportunity to pull the best April Fool's joke of saying the paints are released and then pulling down the entire website. Yeah, we're not gonna
That's
do that.
Not gonna happen.
The thing is, paints aren't like a movie or a video game. If you can't get them day one, it's no biggie, because people have been spoiling these paints for weeks, you jerks.
Yeah,
I
well,
think he's talking about you guys.
Wait.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I've had these paints for weeks.
I just work here.
I just work here. I'm not at fault. I just work here.
Doing what Jen tells me to do.
Does he do that, Jen?
What?
Does he do what you tell him to do?
Sometimes.
I'll give him occasionally.
Paint Liquor, I discovered John through a Miniac vid with all of them painting an army. Miniac finished that army last year.
Very cool.
Was that his soul blight?
Spatsnet store is in Tacoma.
Spatsnets. Oh,
They are used to it. They were finally able to get the fluorescents a couple weeks ago.
wait, which store is this, Spatsnat? Is it one that I would know of?
So they're getting him through Alliance.
Yeah.
I discovered John through Daryl.
That checks out.
Wait, Chuck, what does that mean?
Oh no. No.
What?
That's not good.
Chuck said, so I just got an email. I'm going to have to break the news that Adventures in Machine Shops is officially in its last season.
It's really good?
good.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
All right.
Yay!
Okay.
Never mind. I'm
That's good.
excited. then.
Is that an email from one of the places you went
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right. You had a bunch of interviews.
interviewed at? Hopefully.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
I'm hoping that that's what you're talking about.
Says new gig on the 20th.
That's
Good.
fantastic.
Congrats.
Save yourself from the horrific.
4-hour interview.
Yeah, right?
Paid off, sounds like.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. That's a good day today, Chuck.
Okay, I officially have more noosh than I can use in 1 year.
Oh, don't say that because
Sectrix, how many bottles did you buy?
it's sold out and people are gonna be mad if they hear that.
Yeah.
Or you could sell it at a premium.
Gonna say.
Please don't.
Please
Sounds
don't
like
do that.
eBay. Time to scalp noosh.
You bought 2 online and 4 in the store?
Holy, that's a lot of news.
Oh, don't ask. Are you painting a flight of whatever the heck that guy out there was painting?
The smart man.
The where you have to use cups to mix it up because you're using so much? Thank you, Chris. Talking about Christopher Masucci's Stampa.
Just a couple days off.
Big old Stampa.
Here's Zelensky. I'm looking for a Spec Ops vibe off black. What do you recommend? I've got your Payne's Gray. It's great paint, but not suit this purpose.
So
We just had this conversation.
yeah, I was about to say,
the other day,
didn't you ask about this the other day? Is this the question more or less that you found that you don't think Payne's Gray is going to work great for what you're looking for? And if so, can you give us a better idea of what to expect other than Spec Ops vibe off black?
And sorry if it wasn't you, but we just had that exact
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
framed.
literally verbatim.
Well, that's
And it really is. It really is. The best way is Payne's Gray, white, blue, paint it up to your highlight, and then use black wash or transparent black and do a wash over the entire model to bring it back down into the realm of black, but have that blue undertone to it.
said he thinks it's his first time asking.
Oh wow, that
That's
is
very odd.
very,
Very specific.
We
very
literally had that
con-
exact same question posed that exact same way.
Yeah, wow.
Like yesterday or the day before.
And we specifically recommended Payne's Gray.
Same
too.
exact thing.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Payne's Gray, white, blue.
Wow, what a coincidence.
T.
And
Schmidt,
then you wash it with black at the end.
T. Schmidt said, wish me luck, chat. I'm trading desks with my wife, which means I have to disassemble the hobby station.
Uh-oh.
A lot here. Good luck to you.
As somebody who has moved a hobby station before, best of luck to you.
Oh, Chuck, that sounds nice. Chuck's taken a week off between jobs to do nothing but ride bikes and
Oh
paint
my
models.
gosh. That sounds so awesome.
Just have to finish sorting the 10,000 parts to find the bad one before you go, right?
Let me rephrase actually. That sounds awesome if you're leaving a job that you are looking to find a new job from.
Doomed Paints said my LGS North Coast Games is still waiting to get their rack full of paints delivered. I can't wait because I just ordered the rest of the release line minus 3 out of stock colors. Awesome.
That's great.
We love seeing all of you guys get your hands on all the new stuff. It is always amazing.
Phil and the team here are setting up a tremendous amount of stores and have been through the end of last year, beginning of this. So there's a lot more local retailers around the country. We already had a lot, but that number continues to grow, which is tons of fun. On the Spec Ops thing, I'll grab the model I showed the other day. So I showed off specifically my Death Company workup. It gives kind of a good black, but it has enough of a blue tinge to it to not just be dull grays. And that was all done with the Payne's gray. I used plum, dark plum, as a shadow, so you'll see a little bit of reddish. Then Payne's gray, and then white blue into the Payne's gray very lightly, and then white blue highlights to get the shine on the dull shine on the metal. And then I did black wash over that. I think I used transparent black and glaze wash medium over the top of it and sprayed it down to darken it back up to make it look black. But you still get the hint of blue as opposed to painting it with grays and, you know, blacks like you might normally do. Gives it a much better look.
Abel Hernandez said, picked up a box of each of the new colors. What?
Very
You found a
cool.
store that had them already available. That is so awesome. But now my Pro Crow collection is spilling out of the racks. There's 123 paints and 3 washes. My rack holds 120.
I mean,
Choices have to be.
we got to keep you on your toes. We're keeping those paint rack companies in business.
You can rotate them out. Always have 3 out on your desk, and then you just rotate as you need them.
Always keep the most important 3 on your desk. And then you rotate.
We practice what we preach in that regard. We've always got way more paints on our desk.
Yep. Except for me, I cleaned my desk earlier today.
You're supposed to clean mine, but you didn't do it.
Well, I'm going to do that after.
Wad Potato said, I'm going to need to get lots of noosh. Going to build an Orcs army, and will absolutely do a Stompa whether they're good in-game or not.
Makes less sense for me to clean your desk to have you use it. And then...
So I saw they released Orc numbers today. Like there's
Orc
a download for
numbers?
the Orc Codex update for costs already. People just got excited about that book, and then they nerfed a bunch of prices already, or costs for units.
Sector, you hush. We don't eat the paint around here.
Standard GW nuisance.
Yeah, meanwhile, the other codex is completely unusable, apparently.
Yeah, the Custodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, they nerfed the crap out of it.
Tell you what, I love when new colors drop, but hate finding room for the new colors. Doomed Paints just got a toolbox to store my paints, so I put it on my wet palette and put it back right away. Game delay, I almost filled my Evo, and then Jason said there are 18 more paints coming, and I decided to get the metallic paints, and then Jason is talking about new secret paints, and it just goes on and on.
This guy just never knows
But
how
we
to,
will
how to
never
stop
have
making cool
multiple
paint.
hundreds of bottles of paint.
What's that?
I said we will never have multiple hundreds of different colors of paint.
Jason.
It's quite possible we hit the 200 level. There.
Multiple hundreds.
200
That's
is multiple
barely
hundreds.
multiple.
That's
That's
barely
just
multiple.
barely multiple hundreds.
It could happen. There's a world where that happens, Jen.
I think that will be gone by
Then
We
other
don't have
people
enough
get to be
room in
blamed
this
for it.
building for that. And I'm stuck with this building, so we have to stay here.
We will move, and then we will have to rent this place to someone else.
Gosh, don't have to be a landlord too?
Yeah.
Not interested.
Not interested. That doesn't sound attractive.
Jason, this is T. Schmidt. Jason is king of product teas. Right when the new hotness is almost out in the world, he pulls the curtain back yet again.
I mean,
We might get up to 200.
isn't that my job? I feel like you guys love me more because of that, so you can't fool me.
Chuck said it's probably tip-top secret, but when Monument reaches that 200 paint threshold, is there a planned pivot for new products? Games? In-house designed... Chuck, do
Wait,
this
wait.
already.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, Chuck, you've been here. We've talked about it. We showed it yesterday.
Chuck, I'm gonna need you to step away from the drugs.
We do the games. We do the models.
You're talking about things that we already are doing.
OMG, Mike said, quoting me, never have multiple hundreds of paints. Anxiety kicks in for what paint will be discontinued as they keep adding more. Ice cream? No. You can't make food because that's too confusing.
The first teaser commercial for our first game goes live tomorrow, I think.
Oh my gosh, you should be.
I'm gonna be posting in Discord here after the stream for it, as a matter of fact.
Sector said, I dare you to non-metallic metal your office walls. Go big or go home.
Nope.
How do you know
Wait
we
a
haven't
minute.
already done that?
Big flat panels, not
Christopher and
interesting.
Gabe have been painting around here.
They definitely haven't been doing that. I'll tell you that right now. I feel like if we told Gabe to do that, or Christopher to do that, they'd look at us and say, no.
I quit.
Do we have a date on the new mini launch?
The new...
No.
Oh, you're talking about the
Texture trainer?
texture trainer?
Texture trainer number 2. Like I mentioned before, you may see a handful of them pop up in the store. We won't announce it anywhere other than in Discord. So make sure you've joined our Discord channel if you haven't already. And you'll be lucky if you grab one, because we're not producing number 2 in quantity until after the new paint release. We wish we could get them out at the same time to save you some hassle and shipping, but it's just not possible for us right now. Production on the new paints is all we can take at the moment. I got a question on how Zazin says, how did you paint the gold armor on that mini?
Yeah.
On this guy?
Yeah. I don't have gold armor.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's true. Okay, so started with rich gold. And did I use the... Nope, yeah, just rich gold. I washed it with flush wash. And then brown wash. And then I brought it back up with rich gold. Brought it back up with bright gold, and then white gold. Pretty simple workup.
My job is to ask chat if we see what you have to deal with. Also correct. I have many jobs. Chuck says, I mean more games. I mean, well, we didn't just plan to make one.
This is my
Pro enamel fingernail polish line.
super simple workup for gold. Definitely not super complicated is the goal.
Yeah, we'll just discontinue colors that go with all the Army's GW bounces to Legends.
Is GW getting rid of...
Oh, Watchmato got a texture training number 2, only $10,000.
Jeez.
I don't remember selling that.
Adepticon.
Well, so who took the 10K?
No, I think he's selling it.
Oh, he's selling it for
Selling
10K.
it. He got one and he is selling it for 10K.
I mean,
Watt,
I hate to undercut you, but I'll sell them for $500 all day long.
Yep. In fact, we'll do 2 for 1,000.
I'll sell them for $500 all day long.
Scalptomaton.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
Scalptomaton.
Wad potato.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the new
wad
paints are not
potato.
compatible with the old texture trainers.
Did you say the new paints are not compatible with the old texture trainers? I'm sorry, what?
Gamet Ile, he's our new marketing genius.
You may have to proxy some old paints for new texture
Oh,
trainers.
we change people's names and it just sticks.
Oh my gosh.
Gomadile.
We do. I mean, I already
No name
changed
is safe in our chat.
Watchmato
No name
ends.
is safe.
No name is safe.
No
You
name
thought
is
your internet persona was defined? We got you.
Monument Hobbies here. Redefine an internet personas the world over.
We got you. Prepare
I
yourselves.
mean, it's all love. We even do it to people who work here, like Jabe.
Jabe.
Lebby.
Schlebby.
Shelby likes that name though.
Did you hear I call her office the shell hole?
I'm sorry? The shell hole?
Shell hole. This place is a shell hole.
My
She doesn't like it at all.
I can't imagine that she does.
She got very disappointed with me, but it stuck.
Oh my gosh.
It's like,
Jeez.
what kind of shell hole is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Shell hole you working in?
Oh, my work, it's a real shell.
Ryan Wallace, you use your real name on YouTube, which makes you super secret ninja in the Discord.
That's true.
We don't
You
know
have
who he
super
is.
secret other name, then
We don't know
it.
who he is. Did we slightly change the new bottles? What do you mean? We had a delivery of caps that were a little bit different. So there's I don't know how many, 50,000 bottles or something that exist out in the world that have a slightly different cap to them. But then that got corrected and they're back to normal. They still work fine. They just feel a little different in the twist.
The lid seems slightly changed. I like it better. It's rounder on top.
Oh, the little ball
Oh.
nubbin.
Yeah, so that's not going to stay that way. That was the difference in the lid. It is not the way we designed it. The lid is supposed to have a little bit more of a protrusion at the top to push the dried paint, should you have dried paint. And to get a better seal.
Trying to figure out what color I want to glaze on top of this stone to make it all different. Thinking about doing like Payne's gray or something. I'm liking this guy's hair he got going on here. Very colorful. What's up, Hoosiers? Paint liquor? No. We're not doing hot pink. That sounds like not the right plan. Well, I figured it out. We're gonna do a little bit of this. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A lot of bit of everything. Life is good.
A lot of bit?
Yeah.
A little bit and a lot of bit?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a lot of bit of this.
I don't think a lot of bit a thing.
Yeah. Just take my word for it.
I don't think that's how the inventor of little bit intended that.
Zazin wants to know, what is the hardest paint to manufacture?
The hardest paint, like out of ours? None of them are any different, really. Anything with a pyro red or a bismuth yellow as a constituent pigment is a little bit tougher because of the way the pigment has to be ground.
Hoosiers and Tadpole Jackson, hello.
And by harder, it just takes more time in the process. But thankfully, we don't do that here.
How about pink marble?
No. No, we're not. We're not doing that one.
Ghost Hunter said, did I hear that we are doing hot pink?
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Wizard's Butt is the hardest paint to make.
I guess technically that is sort of true,
I don't know. It's kind of
The
freeform,
easiest.
you know? It's not really that big of a deal.
but it requires more steps.
This is true.
Yeah.
Plaid is the hardest paint to make since it won't be available until 2376.
Jason added 300 years.
Yeah, you guys got a nice
You got a
300-year delay on
long
that.
wait.
Took it out of the realm of maybe one of us would have to deal with it into, nope, we're all going to be dead. Most likely. Allowing for the potential case of weird scientific discoveries.
Wasted Mind, yes. All of our paint is sets or singles. These are no different. And the BYOB 8 or more bundle pricing works on those as well.
Yep, all of the paints, including the signature paints, in the 22 ml bottles.
22 ml bottles will go into the BYOB.
Yeah, primers, textures,
But,
things
but
like that.
does
Do
include
not.
washes. They go in.
I don't know. Much thought. Much thought going into this decision.
Just do it.
Okay.
Pick up a paint color and do it.
Alright.
Purple.
I can't do that one. I can't.
What are you trying to color?
I'm coloring the stone.
Huh?
The stone.
Oh, the stone.
Yeah.
Pink marble.
I'm not doing pink. I was thinking about doing like a paint screen or something. But oh, you know what? We're gonna try it. For science.
Make up a cart tomorrow at 7:30 and wait patiently for the things you need to add.
Just be careful with that. It might not work.
Pre-making a cart.
Yeah. Doesn't like things go out of stock sometimes when people have them in their cart and messes everything up. Just make a list for yourself.
A little bit of Payne's Gray. A little bit of the glaze and wash medium. About 2 to 1. And some water. And we're gonna mix.
Your list is the new sets and a hoodie.
Hopefully we got hoodies in stock.
Yeah.
We've been really horrible about apparel.
We definitely don't think about hoodies much at this time of year either. Corvus Thorax said, thanks for the yell of science. Now I have that Thomas Dolby song going through my head.
You're welcome.
Weird science.
It wasn't the intended idea, but we got there.
Or was that she
She blinded me with science.
She blinded me with science. It's Thomas Dolby. Weird Science was Oingo Boingo.
Do do do.
Mr. Mark West said, hey, thank you for the gifted sub yesterday to Next Level Painting.
Awesome.
Oh,
Must have been
nice.
from Jason.
I went a little crazy.
Did you go hang out in Kenny's birthday
His
stream?
birthday stream, yep.
How was it?
Good.
Excellent.
It's a lot of fun. Kenny's always a lot of fun. It's always fun on his birthday because he says he's retiring every year. And then he retires for exactly 2 days. And then he's back.
That's funny.
I think I saw a post from him today that said that he's going to spend his retirement maybe streaming 3 times a week on Twitch.
Instead of
Just to
just
pass
2.
the time. Because he's retired now.
That's what he
wow.
says.
That's funny.
He's always got somebody in chat who's either new or forgets the previous year.
And then they're like, what is happening?
Yeah, they're like, well, wait a minute. What am I going to do with my Tuesdays? My Fridays?
How's the winter in Arizona? Lovely. Very nice.
It really is quite
Oh
a
my God,
delightful
winter here is the best.
It's no longer winter.
Hence the reason we have what are called snowbirds. Our population in Phoenix area goes up by over 1 million people in winter as everybody from Canada makes their way down.
Jade, we did hear Chuck's good news. Yes, we're very excited.
It was one of the first things out of his mouth. Or out of his fingers. Because,
Hector Kenny got you into our paint range. Awesome. Been using it for a very long time.
Awesome.
hey, he's been using it since the beginning, right?
Since the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Since the beginning. Kenny had paints before we had labels.
Yep.
That's awesome.
He has been a pro acrylic convert since day one.
One of these days, I'd like to like sit down and chat with him for a little bit. I've never had a conversation with him.
I've
that's lasted
invited that
longer
guy
than-
out to our office so many times, I give up.
I give him
Well,
up.
he's not close anymore, so.
Yeah.
But he drove from California to Florida to move over there, and I
Yeah,
said,
didn't
stop
stop.
in. Didn't do it.
Didn't stop in.
Didn't do it.
How did Monument start? With Bold Titanium White, basically. I mean, we made other things before that.
Somebody likes us.
Brushes, go bags,
Yep.
brush goop. All was before Pro Curl, but
Yeah, Jen and I started Slow Fuse Gaming in basically 2016, and that was a focus on the live stream and the tutorials and making products eventually that we thought filled some gaps in my process, things that I had been doing as a painter for the 45 years I've been painting that I felt like didn't work very well in the hobby world, and so let's make some new versions. So we made what we thought was a little bit of a better brush. We made a carry bag, the go bag, the initial go bag, hobby racks to organize your paint station, and then Jen created her brush soap, and we just started our journey that way. In 2017 was our first Adepticon as a vendor, and it went fantastic. We were right next to GW/Forge World that year, and it was amazing. We had people at our booth the whole time because they had to stand in the line for the Forge World stuff that they had brought back.
jeez.
That was the first year they brought Forge World
Oh, was that
pre-order
first year?
back.
Oh, wow.
First year they brought Forge World pre-order back to Adepticon, and so people were lined up for days in front of our booth, and we had a big TV there that had a camera set up watching me paint. Huh?
That was 2018.
Was that 2018?
Because I went to that one, and it was already when I was working at the school. I worked there from the end of 2017 until June of 2018.
I thought it was 2017. Anyway,
Anyway,
so we were at doing that, and then we decided to partner with some other people to grow the business. And in 2018, we changed the name to Monument Hobbies and did the paints. And so the paints launched in at Black Friday of 2018, and so that was great. And then it wasn't, and we bought out our partners, and Jen and I took back over and brought everything manufacturing to Arizona in 2020, early 2020, right as COVID was hitting. It was a big, scary journey, reinventing the wheel at that point in time, and
What
then
a
we
crazy
started
time.
adding a ton of colors, changing the way we made everything, in implementing new manufacturing processes, and all of that, and lots of new products, tons of new brushes, and all sorts of stuff that had come along the way. So that's it.
well, Ryan Wallace, that was technically when Jason and I were on our own. It was in
Again.
2020. Yeah, again, yeah.
We had already been doing it for a long time. So the time you jumped in was about summer 2020. Gamed Elay's color buffet was already taken. That one didn't last on the whiteboard very long, Mr. Elay.
Spec Ops, it would have had at least like the handwritten SFG and the heart, but maybe that wore off. That I've seen a few that it kind of rubs off. None of them were ever unmarked.
Yeah,
It's
it was just
something
red
on 'em.
Sharpie on them. We didn't have labels. What are we talking about? Don't show the swatch while Ben and Matt ones do?
Gabe's handling that. It was a question about why some of the signatures have a swatch and some have just.
Oh, probably the first, like John and Vince ones. Just
That's
have their logo.
Yep, that's what he said. Houdini 7 still has the heart.
Sonic, what's going on? Still has the red heart on it. Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
just did
there's
a
no
little
such
red
thing.
heart and SFG for Slow Fuse Gaming. Yeah, we
No.
couldn't make enough white, so that's what led us to making the paints.
No such thing, Punisher. Never existed. So we can't do a special run of it. Won a base set from some painting Discord, used it, never went back. Awesome.
Nice.
Only paint I'd used at the time before then was GWs. I had maybe 5 or 6. Now I only use 2 paint ranges. Thank you for sticking with us. No, we're not gonna use that name either.
What's that?
But Kenny's name for Special White.
Oh, hobo white.
I don't like that word.
It's Kenny's shtick, not ours.
I know.
This is gonna be the first time you guys entertain guests at the new house, right?
My sister came through.
Oh, did she?
Yep.
Oh yeah, but not. We weren't prepared. This is the first time that we're actually
Prepared.
Yep.
Do an ad mech with a custom purple, green, copper scheme. Got the purples and greens coming from you. Sell me on the copper. I mean, it's amazing.
Have you used our metallics?
Yeah. Let me grab something I can paint copper on.
Our metallics are amazing.
Let me show you the copper.
have not used them at all.
Yeah, our metallics are great.
It's so smooth. The funny thing is, I think copper is like one of my favorite out of our metallics.
Yeah, it might be in stock
Copper?
though. Yeah.
That's what an interesting coincidence.
What's that?
Jen
Copper
said
might
that
be
the
out of
copper
stock.
might be out of stock.
There's a couple of them that are out of stock, but they'll be back in stock the next day.
Oh no, it's not.
All the
It's a-
metallics will be in stock by tomorrow.
So there's the copper. One coat over, not quite completely black, but very, very dark.
No,
Source?
it's not
Yes.
available. Never mind.
Also true.
It's out of stock.
Like I said, they'll all be back in stock tomorrow.
Yeah, everything will be back, but currently. Corvosaurx said, yes, your metallics are amazing. Dark silver, or my god. Lead Belcher, who?
Doesn't exist.
Jim DeLay got a dark bronze in a signature set, never planned to use it. Pulled it out to show my son the options because he was scared of non-metallic. The moment I painted it on a model, I started laughing.
Because you were silly for not thinking of it. Dark bronze is amazing.
Psionic Mike Hunted, I just put up a link there for you. It's our store locator. There are many stores all around the world that carry our products. So check that link if you can find it locally.
Yeah, check that out. Just one coat. It's so good.
Yeah, copper's really good. All of our metallics coat the same. Good sheen to them. Lay pretty flat. Tons of pigment. Nice shine.
Luke said, it's rare that I get to try and help business that I share common interests with, but what would be the best way to try and connect with Monument Hobbies for business-related matters? Support@monumenthobbies.com.
Mm-hmm.
That will get
We'll put it in the
to
right
us,
direction.
and then it'll get in the hands of the right person. depending on what.
Business
You're talking
related
about.
things we were talking.
You recommend using separate brushes for metallics? So when those people that are saying that are not wrong. Having a physical component that is heavier than the normal pigment, right? Because remember, in acrylic paints, nothing dissolves. You're talking about suspensions, not solutions, right? So it's not like salt water. The pigment doesn't dissolve into the paint or anything like that. And so if you're loading your brush with metallics, like you can see very succinctly where the paint in my brush is, right? It's diluted enough to where it starts to encroach on the bristles up by where my fingertip is, and you can see it start to, line down towards the ferrule. You're trying to keep paint out of the ferrule, out of the metal part. So if you're working with metallics, just don't dip your whole brush in them. You can use any brush you want. You don't have to use a special brush for it. A lot of people will. Because they are harsher on your brush if they get down into the ferrule. They become dry and abrasive, and they're very difficult to clean out. But our brush soap works miracles on that too, so you don't really have to fear. Just buy some Gentastics Drunken Brush Goop, and you can make that not a problem.
Really figured out the magic with that stuff.
Psionic, I don't think our products are in any Hobbytown stores.
Yeah, there is a Hobbytown.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a Hobbytown Midwest, someplace in the Midwest.
There's one in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
There's a couple of
that
them.
carries our stuff?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. In fact,
I thought they were like a Hobby Lobby.
No, I was
They are basically a buying group. They're a franchised group of stores.
Oh.
And there are some that we didn't set up along the way,
Gotcha.
but there are some that carry stuff.
Yeah, I was in Indianapolis visiting my dad over Christmas, and I had to go to the hobby store to look for something. I don't remember what it was.
I'm sure Jordan's
And
going buying other paints when he's on vacation.
huh? I said hobby store. I don't think I was looking for paint. I was looking for putty. My dad has a big. He's a big plane guy. He's big into planes.
Uh-huh.
And he has a like a limited edition run that of like a really nice model that was made. That the tip of the wing broke off, and he wanted me to fix it. So I was trying to look for some stuff while I was out and about. And while I was there, I was like, oh hey, they have a Procuro rack. That's awesome.
Neat seeing it out in the wild, right?
Yeah. Especially at like a hobby town. It was a Hobbytown USA, which is where we were at. It was really surprising.
They have a central buying group, but each of the stores can also bring in their own stuff. So some of them that really love our paints or have a very active painting community will typically want to
Yeah, they definitely had a
bring their
lot
rack in.
more miniatures than I was expecting. Like they had 40K stuff, and they had other stuff from other companies as well. More than I would have expected for that kind of store. But yeah, this is the copper.
Somebody likes us.
And it is, yeah, super shiny with just one coat too. And that's with no dilution out of the bottle, other than just a little bit of dampness on my brush.
Oh, go Sue.
Perfect. That was a perfect amount of time to let the base dry. Worked out perfectly. A little bit of brown wash. Throw some brown wash on here.
Paint them over a matte surface. I mean, any glossy surface is going to take multiple coats of paint because the paint is not going to have the same adhesion on gloss as it will on matte. That's true of anything. One of the reasons we never recommend painting with a lot of high gloss on base coats is because your adhesion will be so horrible for your subsequent layering.
OMG Mike said, what's the difference between your brush soap and the Masters brush soap? Curious.
Ours
Let me
works.
tell you.
Yeah, that's.
Ours doesn't trash your brush over time.
So ours is not just a cleaner, it's a cleaner, conditioner, reshaper, brush restorer.
Hey, somebody likes
Made by unicorns, as Ghost Hunter is saying. It's got all natural ingredients in it and some organic ingredients. Masters is a great cleaner. It'll clean your brush for sure, but it's very harsh. You usually will need like a separate conditioner. Ours does not require that. It's all in one.
Yeah.
Super easy to use. The formula that I've created is, I don't know, it just works.
Ours won't turn into a toilet cake.
Toilet cake.
It pulls dried paint out of the ferrule. There's an old stream, I don't remember when it was, but a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
The recovery.
Huh?
The brush recovery.
Yeah. Jordan
Oh my gosh.
was showing off his airbrush cup mixing
Nasty beat up
brush.
brush.
And I said, you know what? I bet Gentastic's drunken brush coop could bring that back to life.
I actually have
And
that.
and then I made it my mission to just clean it. And it's not gonna look brand new by any means, but it did a pretty
Could use another
spectacular
cleaner
job.
and clip in a little bit of flyaways. But this was the first. This is kind of what it looked like before,
Kind of what it looked like.
and
Solid, pretty much.
just basically a rock. It was just a rock. And then this is what it looked like afterwards.
That's the brush right there.
Yep, this is the brush that Jen was cleaning on stream.
We got
It's never going to go back to a
all
point
that
again.
stuff out. It won't go back to a point. That's a synthetic brush too, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's a funny story we like to tell with regard to Masters and the New Jersey Pencil Company.
The New Jersey Pencil Company?
That's a parent company, but
Oh, okay.
so we used Masters, or I did, for years, and it was always a love-hate because you would buy the little tub, and the tub would turn into a toilet cake and not be useful, and you throw it away and buy another one. So I never felt like I got good usage out of it. It was always very solid, and so you had to put a lot of water in it, which also makes it goopy and not great. So I had contacted them early on when we were wanting to make a brush soap and got in touch with one of the owners. The group of people that manage the company. I don't know if I was talking to an owner or not. But I was talking to one of the high up VPs and saying what we wanted to do. And at first they were interested. And then as they found out what we did, it turned into, well, we'll see if we can set you up with one of our distributors and you could buy it through them. And then you could just put your label on it. We'd do that. And when I said, well, that's not what we really want to do. What we want to do is this. And he's like, yeah, but we don't really think what you do is the kind of art we want to be associated with. Was basically my words, not his. But they said that what we did wasn't art at the end of the day. And their distributor said the same thing. You know, after taking a look at your website, I didn't even get to talk to the distributor. They just emailed me. And they said, after taking a look at your website, we don't feel like you represent a part of the art industry that we are interested in dealing with. And so we were like, well, okay then. We'll just make a better soap. And so we do. So there was a little bit of spite in our need to make a better soap. And so Jen really went after it and made a product that is light years better than any other brush soap out there. No harsh chemicals, cleans super well, lasts literally forever, it feels like. I mean, I have people that still have the same 2-ounce tin that they've had for
really
years.
long time. You don't need much.
Same consistency, same everything. So we looked at all the things we hated about other soaps and made a soap that was much better and got rid of all
Spite is
those.
the magical ingredient.
More spite.
Right? What does art have to do with it? It's a substance to clean a tool.
Yeah, Reach is a really beautiful piece of not art, Baby J.
Right?
Exactly, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Mike, and that's exactly it. I mean, as an artist that's used the product, I don't... One of the philosophies that we have around here that stems from me is that I don't like to spend time making a product if there's already one that I would use as my go-to out in the industry. If there was a product that I would use every day, then why would I make another version of it? Just so you can come buy it on our website instead of wherever you can buy it on the other one? That's a little iffy for me. It doesn't mean that we don't do it because we make clippers, You know, and some things like glue that are very similar in their ability to get the job done elsewhere. So we do them as convenience, and we do them because we have slight changes we think are better. But they're not earth-shattering. You know, they're just other versions of the same wheel. But for the bulk of our products, we make something that's new and fills a gap and solves problems that I personally have had with other products out there, or that those products just don't exist, like the Go Bag. And so that's really what we do. That's why the whole paint line exists, is because after decades of painting with other inferior paints, I wanted a paint that I didn't have to jack around with, because I'm lazy. When I paint, I don't want to mess around with the paint. I want to put the paint on the model. That's what I'm here for. That's what gives me pleasure. Not turning the paint into something special or having to, you know, solve the problem they couldn't solve at the factory and then charge me money for. So that's why we made Procryl. And that's why we make all the products that we do, because we feel like there's an upgrade available. And so we try our hardest to make an upgrade. And if we can't, then sometimes there's products that don't get released because we're like, I just never met my expectations. So.
Someone had asked,
Brush soap hipsters.
Scavarus, does the website have instructions on how to use the brush goop?
We have on our YouTube, we have a video.
YouTube, yeah, it's not on our website, but it is on our YouTube.
And we're going to be redoing that one because
Yeah.
right now it's like 40 minutes long because
Yeah.
it was part of an outtake of a stream. And we're going to create a video that actually focuses in on it. It'll go through brush. We'll probably do it in 2 sections. One on how to clean a brush and then just one how to maintain a brush outside of the cleaning.
Yeah. Jen did a great job talking to people about it when she cleaned up the nasty brush.
It's super
that I was
simple.
using.
It's very simple.
9 a.m. Gosu. Basically, the gist without going into it is you put a little bit of soap on the brush. I use the crook of my hand here because I get this trough and my wrinkles in my hand. And then you just agitate the brush back and forth in the soap. I mean, here's a brush that needs to be cleaned. That thing's solid. Look at that.
Yep.
It won't even bend. Here, let's clean a brush.
Clean it.
Clean
So is
it.
the video,
Yeah, so-
we'll get a video on our website when we redo it,
we
but
do.
that one that Jason was talking about, it's
in my
long
office.
and
I
it's
think
old,
it's in the
so
bag when I took it to the show.
we'll get a nice fresh
I
one
will.
on the
Make sure it's not
website.
underneath here.
Voist goop.
Well, it's the goop. All right, I'll go grab it.
All right, cool.
Be right back.
Last 2 lemon KitKats. That sounds horrible, Wad. What the heck is a lemon KitKat? Source, yeah, that video is not just about cleaning your brush. It's about maintaining your brush for the longest life out of it.
Right, which is why it wouldn't be
I go
great
into
for that
brush
website.
trimming. I go into how to shape your brush, all sorts of stuff. That's an old video.
It's real
For a long time was our highest watched video. It's been around forever.
It's a really old
More
one.
people link into that video than anything else in the world, just because of how much you can learn about brushes in general from it.
Game Delay, do you really want an answer to that?
Cuthbert, burnt sienna. Lemon flavored Kit Kat. That's not the thing, is it? Japan has crazy Kit Kat flavors like matcha
Yes,
or
I've heard
cheesecake.
this.
That doesn't sound good to me at all. What is this Zagnut bar? That sounds very familiar to me. Thank you, sir. You've got all your paints on the wall and ready for display. You may need more shelves since I keep making new paints. You go down to the Asian market in your neighborhood, you can get all kinds of flavors of Kit Kat. That's crazy.
They make such good flavors of Kit Kat, though.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let me just stop everyone, Jordan included. When you have those delicious cookie layers
The wafer layers.
on the wafer and then chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
you can stop.
But they don't put chocolate in them. It's the other flavor. And it's not wafer, it's broken up pieces of Kit Kat.
What?
This was revealed within the last year or so. That the inside of Kit Kats, you think it's like one of those wafer cookie things.
It is.
It's not. It is
What lies?
ground up pieces of Kit Kat.
What lies are we hearing, chat?
Wait, but But if you are
Damp
using,
I'm, you know what? I don't work for KitKat. I'm gonna find the article. I'm gonna send
Damp
it
brush.
to you guys. You can read it yourself.
well, I'm just trying
Soap.
to clarify here because so if the center of the Tootsie Pop is broken up KitKats,
Tootsie Pop isn't Kit Kats.
I know, I'm just making a
I'm
joke.
not talking about Tootsie Pops.
I
I'm
know,
talking about KitKat.
I'm making a
Where did
joke.
Tootsie Rolls come from?
It was the first thing that popped into my head. I was making a joke. So if,
See,
if-
yeah, that's a chicken and egg thing. What was the first Kit Kat then? Exactly.
correct, exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
That's what I'm saying. I don't work for KitKat.
Just like I'm.
I just know. I'm trying to find the news for you about this. I didn't
That's like
do
the
it. I didn't
kids
do it.
on the front of the textbook holding the textbook with them on it.
Yes.
This brush is super dense with paint and wash and stuff that we let just dry. So I'm agitating this one a lot more than I normally would. So I'm bending it almost 90 degrees to make sure. But the idea is you want to apply pressure so that it hits right here where the ferrule and the brush comes together. So generally angle it about like yay, right? And then just kind of agitate it. And you'll see the soap start turning colors because it's drawing all that paint and breaking it up. You'll see chunks, So. I mean, you notice immediately the difference in color. You just do that until you're noticing the paint loosen up. And then typically I'll go over and grab a paper towel. Let's get a clean one so you can see it.
It's a one wafer cookie from the 20s that we just keep using.
Right. We'll take that and then you'll see all that gunk we got out of the brush. Then you just rinse it with water. And then I like to, ooh, look at that.
Ew, gross.
All that crap, the brush or the soap loosened up.
This,
Yeah, you just basically hold the brush and then apply pressure right at the ferrule. So I'm pressing like right at the ferrule point there, and then just rotate the brush and pull it out. And you'll see how much crap we're getting out of that brush. And all of a sudden it bends down at the ferrule now, whereas before it only bent about halfway up wherever that line was. Right now we have a brush that is back to having some mobility to it, but it's not anywhere near a brush that you can use. It's still not shaped. So get it clean again, or wet again, and then again just kind of drag through the soap and repeat as necessary. You can do this 3-4 times for a brush that's, solid, but it'll keep getting more and more of that paint out of there each and every time. You can kind of squib it around in a circle. Bend it the other way, squib it around in a circle.
And once you start doing this and it comes out clean, you know it's good to go.
Oh god, there's so much junk coming out of this brush.
Yeah, you picked one that was like half just rock solid.
It literally was like it looked like you'd use super glue with it. It wouldn't
Yeah.
even bend.
That's the best way to demo.
That's true. That's true.
While this is happening regarding the KitKats, this all was revealed by a BBC documentary. The inside layers of the bar are actually made of, wait for it, ground up KitKats.
But
This is sure to unleash some chicken and egg confusion. What then were the creamy layers of the original KitKat bar made from? And it
So,
could just be the UK.
That may
because-
be overseas, because here I bite into it and I see lines.
Well, no, you can see the lines in it. That's true. They
I see lines.
mush them back together. But yes, it
That's
is,
rest of world
It is
KitKat.
UK, and it says that it might be different depending on where things are manufactured. And there's 2 different companies that make them. So it's made by Nestle in the UK, and it's made by Hershey's in the US. So
who makes
somewhere out there,
who makes all the fancy
the
Japanese
inside of
flavors?
KitKats is just ground up KitKats.
That's actually an interesting question.
What's
What?
that?
Who makes? Does Nestle or does Hershey's make all the fancy, funky flavors from Japan?
Who knows? It
Hmm.
could be
could
somebody
be
that
somebody
owns
totally
the
different.
license to it in Japan. A lot of times, food companies especially, will license their brand out to local places because the local places know better how to market it and what they
In
need to
those
do for their
places.
local.
Yeah,
Because that
makes
same
sense.
stuff wouldn't sell over here.
Yeah.
Some of it might, but it wouldn't be as big of a seller over here.
No.
Whereas,
certainly.
like, maybe the dark chocolate one wouldn't sell in certain places here, but it might be good elsewhere or something.
Yeah.
Like dark chocolate KitKat is amazing, but finding them nearly
I was
impossible.
about to say, I don't think I've ever had one.
Nearly impossible.
Sounds amazing, though.
Same with all the dark chocolate major candy bar
chocolate,
manufacturing,
Reese's,
like
peanut
dark
butter cups.
chocolate. The only one you can find is the Milky Way regularly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what
Oh, I
thing
thought you were-
that I don't think they make anymore that I really, really liked when they were available were the pretzel M&Ms. Do you have any of those when they came out
Yeah.
very briefly?
Those are at the grocery store, I think.
Do they still have them?
I've seen them.
I don't know if they still make them or not. Hairdo wants to know if being that rough while cleaning will mess with the brush tips on nicer brushes.
What's that?
Will being that rough with cleaning mess with brush tips on nicer brushes?
I mean, I'm assuming this isn't your nicest brush if it's already like concrete, my friend. So the answer is it rough on the brush? Yes, but not near as rough as what we're cleaning out of it was. So no, I mean, but when we're cleaning like this one, like I said, I'm being rougher with this brush than I would with a normal one because of the fact that
one
it was
pretty
already pretty crappy. And I'm saving it and showing you how you can get a very usable brush back from the dead with Jen's brush goop after cleaning it just 3 times, right?
But you would use the same process, but yeah, with a sable brush, you'd probably be a bit more gentle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to be as rough with them.
The Kit Kats in the U.S. are made by Hershey's, not Nestle, and I think the Nestle plant here in Arizona is just bottled water. Anyways, they probably won't know much about Kit Kat.
Wait, really?
They might be confused.
Wait, Nestle does bottled water?
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the biggest.
The Nestle
water-
company is one of the most horrid companies
water
on the planet.
bottlers in the world.
I think their major income source is bottled water.
I believe so.
Wow.
They're one of those companies that goes to the works with the WHO and underserved countries worldwide to go in and take water rights away from natives and force them to buy bottled water.
Great.
So Nestle, not great. Unless you work for them.
Nestle CEO is a literal supervillain.
Is a what?
Literal supervillain.
Do they look like a supervillain too? 'Cause that would be
Corvus,
the best.
sorry. Corvus said, "Well, that dashes all my hopes and dreams. Thanks, Jen."
What'd you do?
Well, it said, "I got a crew out there working at the Nestle factory in Arizona. I'll see if they can get the scoop on the Kit Kats." And I said, "Well, in the U.S., Kit Kats are made by Hershey's, and the Nestle factory here is just bottled water, I think."
So I want you to look at that after 3 cleanings, right?
Oh my gosh.
That I've gotten rid of the entirety of the paint.
That's basically
There's
brand
no
new.
paint line anymore anywhere there. It bends. It's nice and super flexible now. I can paint with this one like normal. Right? Now to the question, this had been relegated to the job it had because it had kind of a blunt point on it anyway, but look at that.
That's crazy.
Right? Now I have a bunch of like short off hairs here because of where this brush was and why it got relegated to tough duty. So you can always come and trim these. You want to take your cutters, pull those short hairs like that because you don't want short hairs like that along the length of the bundle. It'll cause the paint to grime up in there. And then clip it off right down at the ferrule. Right? So you can go around the circumference. Yes, you're causing this brush to not be able to have the same capacity for holding paint because you're taking more hair off of it, but you're also increasing the lifespan of it. Right? A lot of times if you flick it like that, they'll come off this side. So yeah, you can keep trimming it. That's not a bad brush now. I can use that again.
Yeah, that's impressive. I've seen it happen a bunch, and that's impressive. What just happens?
Yeah. Not a bad brush. We can use that. That goes back on the table as a usable brush. And that was three cleanings, right? And I don't know how long we had this thing open. A year? I don't know.
That? Oh
Yeah.
god, yeah.
Who knows?
I was still using the original white label 10, which is still what's in my go bag. We might have changed it out for a black label just so I was
Just so you
representing the
have-
product correctly.
Yeah.
But somewhere in my office is still the original white label 2-ounce 10. I've never gone through an entire 10.
I think I still have the 2-ounce tin that you guys gave me, or not 2-ounce, the 1-ounce tin.
The 1 ounces. We used to do 1 ounce.
Yeah.
Those are old.
I have, yeah.
We
I have
stopped
one of
doing
those
1 ounce in
really
like
old
2017,
Long time ago.
2018.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
the little teeny
No,
tiny
Before we
one.
released the paint.
It's about that big.
No.
No?
No, because I remember having a conversation with Graham about the different sizes.
Oh, could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Jared, you can't wait for the new colors? 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Arizona time,
Arizona time.
which is currently Pacific. I
It's blowing your
technically
mind that
it's
KitKats aren't
always
made by
Mountain,
Nestle
but
here.
Currently, it's the same.
I believe that KitKat as a brand is owned by Hershey.
It is. I just Googled it.
They license it to Nestle overseas because Nestle is the largest candy.
No, it was something that KitKat originated in the UK.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so maybe the brand got licensed out to,
Yes, I
or
think
Hershey
it's
bought the brand and then
licensed to
licensed it
us.
to Nestle or something like that? Well, now wait a minute, because Nestle has the Nestle Crunch. Wasn't KitKat in the bag of minis with Nestle Crunch and all that? Because you got Mr. Goodbar, the Hershey
KitKat's not
chocolate,
in
the special dark, and
KitKat.
Crackle in Hershey.
Yeah, that's.
And
what I'm
then
saying.
Nestle had KitKat.
I don't know. KitKat is produced globally by Nestle, except in the U.S. where it's made under licensed by the H.B. Reese Candy Company, which is a division of Hershey.
That's weird.
Weird.
Your Eastern time, but you'll be ordering as soon as it goes live. Yeah, that'll be noon for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
You replace your Da Vinci soap with Drunken Goop. Our soap is the best, hands down. Hands down. I've used lots and lots and lots. Other people have said that they do better soaps. You know, you've got the liquid stuff from Winsor Newton. It all works, but it all has a drawback. It's so like the Winsor Newton stuff is so harsh that if you use it on natural hair brushes, forget it. Like over time, it just destroys them. Same with the Masters. The Masters is really made for synthetic brushes. When you talk to them, it's made for synthetic brushes. It's really harsh. It's abrasive. And so in order to clean the paint off, it's like, I won't say like lava soap because it's not that abrasive. You can touch it and feel it and know it's not that abrasive. But that's kind of what it does. You know, it grabs, it uses that harsh abrasiveness to get the paint off of the bristles. Ours does not. Ours uses a combination of oils and natural stuff that will kind of reactivate the paint, so to speak, and drag it off the bristles while also conditioning the brush. And then you can leave it in to reshape the brush. I didn't show you that. But just put some wet soap on there, point your brush, leave it off to the side.
It'll harden too.
Yep.
So, like if you do that, if you put a little bit on there and pull it to the point, leave it to dry, it'll get hard. So it'll keep it really nice and pointy, but make sure you rinse it out really well before you use it again.
Jared's like, that's my lunch break. Yeah, we just redid the site, so it's a lot faster. So we should be in good shape for everybody being able to get on there. It hardens, but it doesn't go rock solid like the Da Vinci one.
Yeah, I actually.
Ours doesn't really harden.
In the tin?
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't if you put the lid back on.
If you leave the
Even
tin
if-
open,
If it gets too much water in it, and you leave the tin open, it could dry out a little bit, but not unusable.
yeah, because remember, even those oils
So-
will eventually evaporate.
I,
You lick the brush goop to try to dislodge some old habits, and all I learned was don't eat the paint.
Don't eat the paint
Don't eat the
soap.
paint soap.
I mean, it's soap. Like, people wash kids' mouth out with soap when they say bad words as a punishment. So, just keep that in mind.
Ustrello's ready for the war of everybody trying to jump on our side at the exact same time.
I'm gonna need you to not talk about stuff like that.
Jen.
What's that?
Oh, I thought he was kind of talking about, like, crashing the site or something. Please don't say that.
Source does. What are you asking? Do they actually? Jared, are we going to be making a wet or dry palette? I'm working on a paper palette right now. I say paper palette. That's unfair, but that's as much as I can give you before I can have a sample to show you.
Wash kid's mouth. Did you not see the Christmas Story? That kid sat there with a bar of soap in his mouth.
They only had to threaten me with that once.
Did you
Have it
actually
happen.
do
Lifebuoy soap in your mouth will make you regret your decisions worse than anything.
Goofing around. Nice name. I like it. Any tips for getting nice base coats with dark yellow green? I'm testing that as a replacement for my AK medium olive green because I can get your paint at a local shop. Awesome.
Sure.
Any tips for nice base coats
coat,
with
really
dark yellow green? What do you mean tips for nice base coats? Are you talking about a process thing? Or are you talking about other colors to use with it? How do you mean? Dark yellow green is kind of the base for my stone stairs here.
Should also just base coat really smoothly.
James,
From what
9
I
a.m.
recall.
Arizona time tomorrow.
Your uncle would eat what? Like Lifebuoy soap? Like if his parents... Really? Oh yeah, Don, Lyles, the soap taste does not go away. It's embedded in your memory forever. Because there's a weird, at least with Lifebuoy, because that's what I had. I think it was Lifebuoy. And because my dad would not put lava or not
Irish
Old Spice.
Spring.
Irish Spring. He was nice enough to not use those.
Yeah.
Because we had the lava bars
Irish
in the
Spring would be-
garage, and Irish Spring was what we used in the bathroom
Like in the shower, yeah.
in the shower. And so I think they actually went out and bought Lifebuoy, or there was a bar of it laying around or something. But there is a taste that soap gets that's like that weird salivating weirdness that happens at the back of your tongue.
Ooh, really?
Oh, that's horrible. It's horrible because it makes you salivate because of that whatever activation that goes on at the back of your tongue, which then drives the soap worse because now you're salivating on soap. It's horrible.
I mean, those
It is
old school parents
horrible.
Knew what they were doing with their punishments.
Oh, that punishment was for real.
It worked.
It wasn't a joke. It was torture. It was literally like it would be described right now in like the Geneva Convention as a torture device that you're not allowed to use on prisoners.
Like waterboarding
Waterboarding and soap.
and soap eating.
Your grandpa traveled for work and would come home with a lot of little motel
yes.
soaps. Oh my gosh, like not ones you could swallow,
a
right?
whole lot on your
Blech.
tongue.
You had nuns
swear.
use liquid hand soap on you as a toddler. What are you talking about? In your mouth? Like open wide?
Are you? Yeah, goofing around. If you're thinning it at all,
You shouldn't be thinking at all. Just use it right out of the bottle in a
That-
damp brush.
yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Most of our paints are formulated so that you really just use a damp brush. You don't have to thin them at all.
Yeah.
Right? Just put a base coat on. Sometimes 2 layers, depending on if you're putting a bright color over a dark color. But like that, like dark yellow green with a single coat should cover black really, really well.
Yeah.
Don't be
this is
afraid.
one
So
coat.
remember that the nice thing about Pro-Acryl, and like going back to what we were talking about before, when we developed Pro-Acryl, the idea was to give you a lower viscosity paint, so it felt like it flows better, but gives you the same pigmentation and coverage of thicker paints. Other companies have to make their paints thicker to hold that much pigment because that's the general way that generic paint companies make paint. Is that if you want to put a lot of pigment in it, that pigment weighs more, so you put a heavier medium in it, so that heavier medium keeps the pigment from sinking to the bottom of the bottle. Make sense? It's like house paint. The way they do house paint. Big, thick, medium, so you can put a lot of pigment in it, so you get one coat coverage on your walls, and you don't have to shake it up as much, because you don't have the ability to shake up a house paint, gallon tin at your house.
Because it weighs like 20
You need to
pounds.
just be able to stir it to get it to remix. So that's the whole concept, and that's a lot of the companies that make other hobby paints. Their foundation is in house paint. For us, our foundation is not in house paint. We make art paints, fine art paints. And so we developed a medium that feels thinner, right? It's more lightweight, or less viscous, right? But we put more pigment than the other guys in our paint. And it still doesn't separate. You still don't have to shake it a whole lot. Still suspends really well. Gives you the opacity and the coverage that you're looking for, but doesn't require thinning. Because, of course, if the paint itself is thicker, right, and you're led to believe that thicker paint has more pigment, but that's not true now. Pro-Acryl is thinner, but has more pigment. And now you don't have to use as much thinner or water or dilution of whatever type you like to get it to work the way you want it to feel on the model. So we've been so used to diluting thicker paints because if you just put the thick paint directly on the model, you see brush strokes in it. It doesn't move as well. It kind of feels like you're painting with snot, With ours, you never get that. You just paint with it and it feels great. But you don't have to thin it. Like, I use a dry palette to give you an idea, right? Here's my piece of glass.
Yeah, goofing around saying maybe I should switch to my old glass palette.
Yeah, I'm using a glass
Amazing.
palette, and you can see I don't dilute hardly anything. My damp brush, until you get up here, this part of the palette I use for glazing. So you can see up here where I'm putting a lot of water into it to glaze and create bigger splotches of paint that I'm thinning out. But down here, very rarely.
You guys can also see, like,
Just damp brush.
this is my wet palette. Look at how dry this is.
Yeah, I mean, he literally uses his wet palette the same way I use my dry palette.
Yeah, it's just a little damp, which helps a lot for me because I tend to do more mixes than Jason does. So that little bit of moisture that I have with my wet palette is enough to keep the paint going for as long as I need it to go. And then, because, I mean, I paint for 2 hours on stream every day. I'll fill it up with water at the beginning of the stream and I never have to touch it again. So, yeah, that's definitely a problem that a lot of people have. They'll oversaturate their wet palette too, and it'll absorb too much water. Nope, it's the first one, source. But it is red grass.
P. Schmidt said I step away for 1 minute and we're literally talking soap taste.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome to Monument Hobbies live stream.
We're talking what?
Soap
Soap.
taste. It was Game Delay's fault.
As most things seem to be. Game-ad Elay.
Damn it, Elay.
Goofing around, yeah. They airbrush great for the same reason, because they're already lower viscosity, so you don't have to thin them as much. But you can, so don't let me distract you from the fact that you can thin the crap out of our paints. If you want to thin them down for glazing or airbrush filtering or whatever you want to do, they'll accept thinning just like any other paint. You just probably don't have to thin them as much. Because it's weird in the world of hobby paints, because they're usually thicker to have that much pigment, you're finding yourself thinning half for opacity and half for viscosity, right? Because they don't all break down at the same point. Like, your opacity is not linear with the viscosity of the paint depending on the medium they use. So sometimes you're thinning like 1-to-1, but how much of that thinning is actually lowering the opacity to the level you want to versus making it thin and feel the way you want to. So it's always, that's why a lot of paints you wind up being confused as to how am I supposed to thin this versus this versus this, because different colors thin in different ways. With ours, they're fairly consistent. They're going to thin for opacity very evenly because they're already at a low viscosity. You're not having to thin them so they feel thinner. You're thinning them so you can see through them. So you don't have to add as much water or airbrush thinner or whatever you're adding to it. A lot of people oversaturate. What's a good way to gauge how much water you should have in the wet palette sponge? The sponge is not the issue. It's the paper. A lot of people will spray the top of the paper with water after they lay it so that it kind of adheres down. That's what keeps it stuck to the sponge, is by being wet. So instead, take your wet palette paper, run it under a faucet with warm water, saturate it that way, although it's like wax paper. It doesn't ever soak up like a sponge, right? But get it wet on both sides and then squeegee it almost dry so that it's just damp, right? And then lay that over your sponge and use weights on the corners to keep it down. You want the paper to be fairly dry, because the way the wet palette is intended to work, the science behind it, is that layer of paper that allows water to permeate through it. The water, with just a little bit of water on top, which is the paint, not water, it's when you put the paint on top of the paper, that represents an amount of water on the top. And the water underneath on the sponge, as water evaporates out of the droplet on top, the hope is that you'll replace it with water permeating up through it, right, in that osmosis sense, into the paint. It doesn't work perfectly, right? It depends on climate, the paint, the paper, right? The paper will stop working in the place where your spot of paint is over time because it starts to clog with the paint going back the other way. So there's all sorts of problems with the concept, which is why you don't see wet palettes in the art world. Like, people just don't use them, right? The Masterson is like the only company that ever made wet palettes, and they didn't, I mean, they've made a business out of it, but it's a very niche business. There's not a whole lot of people that you talk about in the art world painting canvases that use wet palettes. I think they were made for watercolor people. And so you would say that if it were a more fine-tuned thing, you would see more people using them. So I'm one of those people that there's a lot of placebo behind it, but they can be very good when you're mixing colors. Because when you, like, if you're mixing a green and a blue for that perfect shade, and you get that down, you don't want to have to keep remixing that, right? And having the slight variations in color from model to model or parts of a model. And so the wet palette can keep that mix live longer, for sure. So they have a very good use. Just manage your expectations with them. Placebo's a good band. You go like 2-1-1 in the airbrush with water flow improver and paint, which can get you a lot of paint coverage. Yep. Yeah, and 2-1-1 with our paint will give you a really good filter, but you won't need too many coats to get back to opacity, right? We usually start 1-1, right? We like 50-50 as a good basis for pro acrylic to start your thinning and then work from there. If that's still too much punch in the pigment, then you can thin more. If that's too thin, then obviously put more paint in. Vexing workshop. Yeah, exactly. If you do a lot of mixing, it works great.
Time to paint some glowing green eyes.
Still don't know, like, this gem on his forehead. Like, what's that all about?
I don't know.
Is it the rock that keeps him alive?
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think I know?
I don't know anything about this guy.
Where's the old cat?
He's a guy with big clawed feet. He doesn't look like he'd be fun at parties.
Well, he definitely wouldn't be fun at parties.
I don't feel like What's his crotch cloth color need to be? Chat?
They're gonna say pink.
I was about to say, they're going to say hot pink.
I don't listen to those people.
You just asked them.
That's true, too. The mind control, Jim. Exactly. Oh, I guess the crown does look like a hand. I forgot to paint the thumb part over here, so that's why it's throwing me off. Urine yellow.
It's where Nagash placed his hand on his head. That's why the crown looks like a hand.
Ooh, you know what
Said
would be
Philip.
cool there, though, is a really dirty white cloth with like a cross symbol on it or something funky like that, like an old knight heraldry
That'd be cool.
on there. Let's do that. I like them apples. What do we got here? Let's start dark green brown as a starting point. How about that? Yeah, yellowish white, Mike. That's kind of where my brain went as I started looking at it.
Corvus Thorax, your brush cleaning demo sold me. Awesome.
Yes.
Just bought some along with a couple paints.
Awesome. It's great stuff.
But we have new paints coming out tomorrow.
It's great stuff.
Hey, don't forget to come back tomorrow. There's more where that came from.
This is that brush I just cleaned.
Are you using it?
Yeah. As he was saying that, and I was rinsing a brush to put paint on, I was like, I grabbed a number 6 because I want some coverage, and I was like, oh, this is the one I just cleaned. Look at that.
I bet it works great.
One last thing about Gentastic's Drunken Brush Group is that it is still completely handmade. Half of it by me. I start the process, and then we have someone else who makes every single tin by hand.
Take that.
Yeah.
We are serious about quality around here. We have not found a way to keep the quality consistent on the soap by going to a more automated manufacturing process, so she won't let us.
I'm very particular.
Jen's just like, nope.
It's the way you gotta be.
Some might
It's
might
her
call
baby.
it stubborn.
I mean, technically, is that the first product you've ever created, babe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
A lot
the
of
only
pride
one
there.
with my name on it.
Yep.
A lot of
Gentastic's
pride there. You
Drunken
gotta take
Brush
it
Group.
seriously. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
It's true.
This whole stream is like in Breaking Bad when Jesse's crew is selling to the NA group. With the Sam Lens brush set you sell, what would you recommend as a good starting use for each size?
Well, the 6 is
sixes.
intended for base coating.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm using a Sam Lens number 6 for base coating.
Goofing around, we're working on our matte varnish.
I have some of it right here.
We had intended to release it a while ago. It wasn't quite right, so sent it
Yeah.
back
The matte
to
varnish is a
Jason
really good
for-
example of what I was saying earlier about how if it doesn't meet our goal, then
Yeah.
or if it doesn't meet our quality standards, then we won't release it. We showed it on stream. It wowed everybody. It had a great matte, and then we got very lucky because before we released it, the monsoon season hit here in Arizona. We got a little bit of moisture in the air and realized that our matting agent started to satin out when there was more humidity. So luckily we caught that before release. Went back to the drawing board.
Corvus Thorax said, what was it started with? Like his wife is going to be upset about the bank statement or something.
Uh-huh.
And then, hold on. Fast now. My wife is going to be so mad after tomorrow when she looks at our bank statement. And then followed up with, I always just say, well, at least I'm not spending it on coke and whores.
Jeez. That's brutal.
I've heard that so many times though, of like, hey, you can paint miniatures or you could do drugs.
Hookers and blow.
One or the other.
Much
Hookers
better
and
than
blow.
hookers and blow.
Can't afford both.
Gigolos and blow.
Yeah, one or the other, but not both.
Matt Varnish is my private detective name.
Somebody
Matt
the other day said
Varnish.
Matt Varnish was their porno name.
Yeah.
It was yesterday. Oh, you know what I just realized? I washed this brush,
Mhm.
and then I rinsed it out in my paint water cup.
Mhm.
So technically right now, I'm also painting with a high level of Gentastic's Drunken Brush Goop.
Oh,
It'll
because
be
it's all in the water.
Yeah, I need to clean my water cup out. I forgot I was going to go do that.
Game Delay said I picked the name Game Delay because I always felt a wave behind on playing video games. Now I'm constantly a wave behind on paints. But the paints won't go away.
I will tell you
I'll
that
be here.
if you rinse your Gentastic's Drunken Brush Goop out in your paint cup, you
Yeah.
should probably go get new water in your paint cup before painting.
Yeah. Gloss varnish can go through the airbrush without thinning, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It can also be thin.
Can
You,
also
you
be
can
thin.
definitely thin it if you want to, but it is certainly thin enough to be used without any thinning.
Surplus, I love the satin black. Will you guys be making other satin finish colors at some point?
Generally speaking, no. We do have some. We have our Matt and Ben signature series
Matt,
sets,
see,
which
and Matt is
feature.
confusing. Matt is his name.
Oh, sorry. Matt Sexwish
Signature and Ben Comet's
Ben
signature.
Comet's signature series
Have some
sets.
satin.
Both of those have, I think, between them 8 different matte paints. 9, because we have satin paints, and then we have 2 gloss paints
2
and 1
gloss.
matte paint.
In the set.
Oh, I'm sorry, 8, and then we have 1 metallic. So it's
Yeah.
8 satin paints, 2 gloss paints, 1 matte, 1 metallic.
Yeah.
In those 2 sets. So we do have some matte paints, 9 total. But you can also get the gloss varnish, and you can add it to your regular paints like a medium, and it will make them satin.
Oh, Rondorio, just when I got all your colors, you go ahead and create more. Sigh. Keep you on your toes.
We like Jen said, we just like to keep you guys on your toes.
OMG Mike, what's the difference between matte and ultra matte? Is it just marketing blah blah?
Yes.
Probably. Visnar Moldo from YouTube, excited about the new reds. I think red is really missing in the current lineup. Hard to tell if red oxide will fit the gap for more scarlet, deeper red than is available. Thinking World Eater.
It'll be perfect. So the red oxide, my favorite workup for red right now, which is pretty much what this is burnt red, followed by red oxide, followed by bold power red. And then you can punch it up a little bit with mixing in, I like to use something with a little bit of yellow in it, just to make it a little bit more of a peachy color, to do your final highlights. But, I mean, this right here is just burnt red, red oxide, and bold power red.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. And it's super simple. You can kind of keep it at that level, and it ends up looking like a nice, like, satiny type cloak. Yeah, it's a fantastic color.
Psionic, what if I also like hookers and blow?
What if you also like hookers and
Your
blow?
budget allows.
Well, yeah, whatever your budget can
You
handle.
must be rich.
Does Monument Hobbies have a series of defined protocols for new product development, or is it Jason with a big stamp that says "ship it"?
What do you mean? For
We do a lot of
release or
testing.
development?
For development.
2 different things.
Development.
Development is what it was. How it was asked.
Well, but he said
Order?
ship it.
I know.
So ship it is release, not the same thing. Development.
A clarification from Chuck on that one.
I do 99.9% of the product development. So I will work on whatever the said product is. If it's a paint or something similar, Baby J will work with me on it. We'll get colors correct, things like that, and then we'll nail down the parameters that we judge it by. And when all of those parameters get met or exceeded, then we'll say okay and go into manufacturing. For things like the go bag, where we work with a outside team of specialists, help do the stuff we don't know how to do. I can design, but I can't sew. So, we have some outside specialists we work
Jason's a
with.
little limited on what he can do in that world.
Then, then we'll work with them to get everything right, and then it goes through a standard like sampling and sign off procedure. As we get samples sent to us and things like that. It's pretty typical for product development. If you're familiar with product development, it's no different than anywhere else.
Hector, they haven't been released yet if you're talking about the new ones, but all of the signature sets are equal sellers, like really
Neck and neck.
it's neck and neck every month, like one or two sets different,
Vince sells more
Pretty
than
much.
John.
barely, and not all months, most months, but not always.
That's what he'd
And
like you
barely.
to say.
I just always hope John's here.
Oh.
I just always hope John's here lurking in chat, because Vince sells more than John.
Is that how you say sex swish? Now that's a porno name. Very difficult for me to say it. I always want
Seshwish?
I always want
Is
to
it?
put the.
I've been told both ways.
Yeah,
It's Seshwish.
It's so hard.
Seswish.
Goofing around the Rogue Hobby set is amazing. All 6 colors are fantastic.
He will say it's pronounced sex witch.
Matt does?
Yeah.
Well, that's his name.
Well,
He should,
then-
we should probably
It's
say it
his
the way
joke
he
is
says
what
it.
it's
Oh,
his
okay.
joke is what it is.
Oh, that's
Like a
that's what it.
sandwich?
Yeah, okay. That's why I heard it that way. Then that makes me laugh.
We make replacement blades for the knife source. They're available on our website. I would imagine PK Pro has them. I don't know.
Yeah, they come from in sets of 5.
Yeah, they come in sets of 5. Other blades, like an X-Acto blade, will fit, but it'll be maybe a little wobbly or something.
Yeah,
Which is-
number
Just
11
get it
has a
from us there.
larger hole in the tailstock, so it wobbles a little bit. It's not unsafe. It'll still cut well, but it will move.
And Chuck was asking about development. Jason does what Jen says. We know how it really works.
Also, yes. But I've learned to skirt that issue by not telling her I'm making stuff until it's ready to release. Oh yeah, babe, we got a shipment of this stuff coming in. What's that?
That's the releases for August. What? What releases for August?
Patrick Reading. Or
I knew you
Redding,
wouldn't. I knew you wouldn't let us do it. So
just got the base set and expansion set 4 with your state refund. Thank you to the great state of North Dakota.
awesome.
Very cool.
They should be thanking you. Borrowed your money all year.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You should move a few miles south. They don't have that there.
Yeah. Every go bag is hand crocheted by Schlebby.
That would be.
Can you imagine
hilarious.
crocheted go bag?
Yeah.
Vince
always
beat
like,
John at Adepticon by 1 set, said Philip.
Dang.
Maniac getting a signature set?
No.
I don't think he wants one.
No, Scott is very honest about that. He does not feel like he wants to. He doesn't feel like it's genuine because he doesn't really use our paints on the regular. And that's not
is
because he
fine.
doesn't like our paints. He's used our paints here in the past, the recent past, and has really enjoyed them. But he has a process. He's a very process-oriented painter. I'm sure he'll talk about it when he's here. He's a guy that as he goes through and does stuff, he just gets used to the way he does it. And he's used Vallejo and AK and things like that for so long.
We're also, I mean, we've stated this before, so I don't think I'm out of line saying it. We're kind of pausing our signatures for now.
Yeah, this is the last
Last
round
one.
of signature sets for a while.
Visitor Moldo, are we going to see the new sets at Canadian resellers this week or later?
Later.
Hopefully not too much later, but later.
Yeah, I would think that the following week or so, you should see, week or two, you'll see the Canadian distributor get them, and then all of that.
Snapcast said, Jason, do you think your fast NMM method would work for Iron Warrior's armor? I hate metallics, but don't want to take forever on each model.
Sure. You can do, once you get used to the idea of what, I've referred to as like wish.com non-metallic metal, it's very quick, very simple. It's easier than doing metallics, in my opinion.
Metallics, you need to baby a little bit more to get them to look like really nice.
Yeah, because if you just speed, the problem with metallics is if you just speed through them, they tend to look really fake.
Yeah, true.
Panic Bomb, you should call him. What state are you in? We did start shipping them out to stores last week.
A lot of stores already have them.
If you're in a state that's closest to Arizona, they could potentially have them already.
Heck, because we just shipped them out based on time of order, I saw a store in Michigan had them already.
Ryan Wallace already has the exact Grex airbrush we sell. Wish I could get the Monument hand grips for them. It's not they.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not something we do.
Just buy another one.
Yeah.
Then you'd have them. Yeah, backup.
I like your style, Jordan.
Hey, look, there is a solution to your problem.
There is a solution to this problem.
Can we hope for a Miniac cutting mat that will fit in the Evo bag? We already have a cutting mat that fits in the Evo bag.
Right now, we're not really in works with Scott on anything like that. We just enjoy hanging out and working together. Something may come down the pike. We'll keep pushing it. I like him. I would love to work with him. He knows that. He would love to work with us. We know that. So he's coming down here to shoot some video and hang out, and it'll be fun.
Your New York Panic Bomb, potentially, depending. I'm like, if theirs went out on the first day we shipped, they might have it by now. But that far away is probably going to be like 4 or 5 days in shipping.
You need a Zambi's signature set? We've talked to a lot of artists. We're very, very out front and open with the idea of how much a signature set has to sell. And that's just a production and investment number. And so that's something that we have to put out there so that people that, love the idea of it also have to be honest with themselves and their market and their marketability on what that does, because our marketability helps them, theirs helps us. It's a very symbiotic situation. And when we started it, I never really thought of it. Let's be honest. I didn't think of what happens if these are successful. I thought of it as I want to make paints with Vince and John. That's it. Mm-hmm. It was that easy. Vince and John have supported Monument Hobby since day one, and I was like, what's a good way to give back without just, as you probably noticed if you've watched our brand for long, we don't like just sponsoring things. It doesn't always feel fake, but sometimes it can just feel forced. Today's video is brought to you by Monument Hobbies. You've never seen me use their stuff, but go buy it. That kind of stuff. So that's never the way we've approached it. We've always liked to work with artists who love our stuff naturally. And so that developed over time. John and Vince were early adopters of the paints. And so as we developed those relationships, it was like, hey, what if we made some colors together? Here's this crazy idea. And I just talk. And then when they got excited about it, I got excited about it. We all got excited about it. We made the colors. The colors did supremely well. Were great additions to the line. The whole process worked out very well. And I was like, let's do this again. And so we did it with other painters that we like and who are friends of the brand. And so, and then now we've kind of gotten to the point to where there's a myriad of issues. Number one, you run out of colors that you can do before you run out of artists that could have really cool colors. And so we can't go too far down that line.
The purpose, too, of the Signature Series is to create colors that those particular artists felt were lacking in the line, right?
Well, or just lacking in their ability to get them, because these are colors that they mix all the time.
Mixing to create those colors. So
yeah, believe it or not, Mashik's whole set is colors that he has to spend a lot of time mixing to get them right. And when you spend that much time painting and having to remix, and then when a company changes the color, now you have to find out some other way to mix it. We were just like, just make them. And so now he has 6 colors. He can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 through his process, and it works really well. So yeah, there's a method to the madness, as we all know, but it's one of those where we didn't have a plan other than do the first ones and see how it went.
And we know that you guys, and this is wonderful that you guys support your favorite artists so much, and you want them to get a signature series set. We know that. We know who you want to have a set from, even. So we hear you. We get it.
Darklight, thank you. Go back up. There was a airbrush question. Major difference between the pistol style and the standard airbrushes? No. You're using a not great cheap one off Amazon. So the pistol style you have to be careful with, because there are a lot of them that are single action. And single action means as soon as you pull the trigger, you get air and paint. And so that causes a paint flutter at the tip out of the nozzle, because you want air first and then paint. That's called double action, right? And that provides a smooth introduction of paint into the workflow, and then the ability to exit paint from the workflow before you cut off air. Because anytime you apply air and paint at the same time, you get spatter, or the chance of spatter is very high, right? And same when you cut off air and paint at the same time, you get spatter. And so single action airbrushes are for utility work, right? You don't really care. So detail work and models is not where you want a single action airbrush, ever. Not even really for base coating, because it can cause texturing. So double action is what you want. And our trigger is double action. Our pistol grip, as well as the normal one, are double action. Meaning that the first draw of the trigger, you have a way to get just air, and then you apply paint into the airflow, which prevents that spatter. So if you like the pistol grip, then our pistol grip is literally the best one made, period. Nobody else has a good double action pistol grip other than Grex.
Goofing Around has one last question. Is bright pale yellow going to be like a universal highlight mixer like Ice Yellow from AK Vallejo?
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it replaces in the world.
Darklight, thank you. That's
Louise is so charming. When I learned she had a signature set, you went back in time and bought all the other. Louise is spectacular. She has a great, but all of our artists are tremendous. Mashik is so funny because I joke with him all the time about I am smiling, because he's but so I am smiling. He's so funny. He has such a good humor, but is got that wry, almost dry European sense of humor, right? He's joking with you, and you're like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Of course not."
Brutal Burrito. The Adepticon colors will be a permanent part of the line, not limited edition.
No, yeah. We don't make a limited paint. The only limited paint that we make is Wizard's Butt.
Yeah. Miniac has tried them.
Yeah, he's tried them.
It just, like Jason was saying, he has a process, and that's totally fine.
Squidmar signature primer win. Emo is great, but his philosophy behind his channel doesn't really allow for those types of opportunities.
Corvus Thorax, you should move closer to where you work. Just
gotta hit the road for the 2-hour commute. Oh my gosh, I hate that. Sorry. I used to do a 2-hour commute, and I know your pain.
I feel like you live in California.
I've done a lot of commuting, not 2 hours, and that sucks.
It's
as
brutal.
It is.
Yeah, it's brutal.
I can't imagine doing
Sector
it.
2 hours each way on the 91 was pain.
You didn't buy like all their stock, did you? Did you leave some for others? And where are you? Because that might help other people know if their stores could potentially have them, depending on how far away you are from Arizona.
Oh, that's awesome. You bought them, and now you're going to go pick them up. Like, you called and said, hold them. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That is initiative.
T. Schmidt, there's only so much audiobook to make your commute worth
leave me
it.
alone.
What's this?
Thank you. We appreciate you.
I bought one of each. Leave me alone. Was a Louise collab something you went to her with? It didn't seem like she used your paints a ton before, but maybe that was just a side effect of her time at GW. Okay, so here's an interesting story. As soon as the day after we heard she left GW, I reached out to her. And I said, Louise, I've always loved your stuff. I don't know if you know anything about us. If you'd ever like to work with us, please feel free to reach out. Here's my personal contact info. Never heard from her, right? She then got white from Peachy
Yeah.
because Peachy told her it was the best white on the planet. And then she got some other colors from Element Games and had a couple of bottles. And I had seen her on a stream. And after I had spoken in her stream and everything, she contacted us. It was like her first or second stream she had done. And she contacted us and said, oh my, she saw the note. Because I said, yeah, I contacted you on Instagram a while back. And she went back and said, oh my God, I've never seen this before. I'd love to work with you guys. You guys are like some of my favorite paints, but I need more.
Well, that brings up a good point, because on Instagram, if you don't mutually follow, you can't.
It goes into the request.
Hidden. Yeah.
It goes in, and I'm so used to looking at them.
I know. I
yeah.
never look at them.
Yeah.
It's 3:58.
Oh.
So yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting collab or like meeting point, because we both were interested but had no visible contact bridge, right? But as soon as we started talking, it was just like bang, this is gonna work. It's gonna be great. So.
And she's been super.
Chuck, your
involved.
new commute is double what you've got now. Instead of 5 minutes, it's 10. That's it. I don't know how you do it, man.
Yeah, my
minutes.
commute.
It takes me 10 minutes to go like 2 miles.
Man, I'm slumming it here driving to work. It's slower than walking.
Yeah, it takes him longer to drive because of getting out of his parking garage.
Yeah. It literally takes less time for me to walk from my apartment here.
Peachy Signature Series win. Like I said, we're done with Signature Series paints for the moment. We've got 6 sets. That's a great start. We're going to go back and finish out the main line, take care of a lot of the wrapping up of Pro Acryl in the main retail rack. We've got another line of paints coming out. Have I said it like that before?
Not
Jen's
so
not
many
here,
words.
so I can say it like that. So we got some more paints coming out. So there's going to be like up to 36 colors, somewhere between like 24 and 36 colors.
Have we gotten any of this?
In that range that are going to be pretty amazing. You didn't hear that here. Don't clip that. And then we'll take another look at how signature stuff works. So. The next signature series is Ghost Hunter. Colored primers. Sectork says, I don't have room. Stop. Tomato, potato, 4 other colors.
Wad, potato, and...
So we do have some fun things that in mind. Like for the last expansion set, one of the things that I thought about doing was the unofficial, official community signature set type of idea.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we let you guys, and this is scary as hell for me to say this, pick some of the colors. So
I don't think they've deserved it.
well, you got to be on the Discord for that coming up. But that'll be coming up this year, where I start finding a way to delve into the chaotic hell that is chat in Discord and Twitch and YouTube, and say, if you had one color, what would it be that you feel like we're missing, and yada yada yada. And it can't be plaid, and it can't be, fuchsia or something like that, right? Yeah, SEMO, exactly. Wrong. Fired. But yeah, we're gonna look at some fun stuff with that, so that we can have one that in the flavor text is maybe the person that came up with it, or the group will find some way to recognize it as a community chosen color. So we'll do some fun stuff there.
Color
Because we have one more set of 12 to make to finish out the main line. And while I've got ideas for more than 12, I've decided I'm going to open up a minimum of 1 or 2 colors up to the community to choose what they might want. So we'll see what happens.
You know I love you guys.
Source, you don't need more browns. You don't.
I do like eclectic salmon.
Some tans. I mean, honestly, when you start looking at like the caramel brown, and then you move that into the khakis and the ivories and such, along with the dark or the drab brown, now you've got some really good ways to get tans. But I know that we probably lack a good highlight for light umber kind of a color.
Mm-hmm. Dark Prussian blue. Is that it?
Must sell alarm for 855, 856, 857, 858, 859. Well, Waste in Mind, remember, join you guys are close to our hearts. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord, and be paying attention to the Discord, because if I get everything set to go prior to 9 a.m., I'm launching it, and I'm only going to tell Discord. The rest of the world is waiting on 9 a.m.
I
It
just
might
posted
be
the Discord link if you're not in it.
it might be
Yes,
pre
join.
9 a.m. and we'll only announce that to you special people. You're special. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right, gang. Thank you so much to everybody that's hung out with us. YouTube and Twitchers. Definitely join the Discord. You get a lot of updates on things. First, I'm about to get off stream right now and go link for just a little teaser for the game. We're going to launch that first on Discord, and then you'll start seeing the commercials next week. That'll be fun. Special equals awesome. That's the way you got to look at it, Panic. Nobody can tell you different. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you're new around here and you have not hit that follow button on your respective or the subscribe button, I got to remember, it's called subscribe on YouTube.
Like
So
and
sub on
subscribe.
YouTube, like and subscribe, and then follow us on Twitch. We'll love you forever. And then hit all the links that Jen put up there. The store, the friendly local gaming store locator, so you can find out if there's a place close to you that sells Pro Acryl. You can go grab it there. You might be able to get the new colors at your local store. We've already
That's
had one or
actually
two
true.
people in chat that found out that their local store already has them and are going to pick them up before 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, they're literally going right now, I think.
Some of our local dealers here have paint before we do. So go stick
Well-
that in your hat.
Well, technically they got it from us. Does that?
Yeah, but we can't sell it.
Oh,
They're selling it.
Sure, that's fair.
Stealing our thunder.
They bought ours.
They bought ours. We sold it to them. Now they're selling it to you. What's going on here? And then, of course, the Discord and the YouTube link, so you can check it out. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice as soon as we're done, it moves over to the live tab. So you can catch all the VODs there and check out all of the painting and nonsense that tomfoolery we've been doing. We love seeing you here. We stream 5 days a week from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's Arizona time. Google what time it is in Phoenix. If it's 2 p.m. or later, come over here. Unless it's 5 p.m., at which point we're gone. So don't do that.
We're already home.
But and remember that tomorrow's stream time is flexible. We have a VIP and Scott, the main miniature maniac, in town, so we do not know at this point in time what time we're going to be starting the stream. So it might be a little later. If it'll either be on time or later than normal, and we may go for a little bit later depending on Scott's schedule and all the other things we're trying to do in the office tomorrow with him. But pay attention to the Discord. We'll try to keep you updated there as well. And then Friday we'll be back to normal. So we'd love to see you back here. Stick around for the raid. Jen's going to find somebody to shove us off to. Show some love once we get in that chat and enjoy the hobby off into your evening. We will catch you back here mañana. I hope you get some new paints.